always so fabulous, you guys, when you are living a mobile life and a mobile business. I'm Hanale's in ballet class, and I'm in the car, and I was tethering to my computer, and unfortunately I did drop out. So good thing is that I am live here in the phone. So Jabril, why don't we kick it off? Would you make sure that you hit the recording button, and we'll just kick off the call?
Absolutely. Did about 20 seconds ago.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, perfect. Well, welcome, everyone. Welcome to our Marketing Mondays call. I know that there's so many people, Jabril, that are coming into this line that have been attracted to your call. I mean, you are really creating some incredible value every single week. You know, we started this call, gosh, how long has it been, Jabril? It's a couple months now, hasn't it?
I want to say about a month and a half, 2 months that we've been doing calls, webinars.
Well, you know, and it's funny because I remember the conversation that we had. It was like, okay, you know, we've got so many people that we work directly with. You know, we've got students that we coach. You've got clients that you coach. And the connection that the Unstoppable Families had with you and the things that you've been able to do for us as we decided to launch out and venture off on this complete mobile venture, which is traveling around the world, we really took on our partnership. And, you know, when we decided that the things that you've been able to do and the knowledge that you have, that you've put into the Unstoppable Families brand and getting us out there and marketing, you know, the way we can help people around the world live a credible lifestyle would also make amazing income, we said let's put this in a call on a Monday night call that you can just share your expertise to everyone, and created pure content value that people can take right now and run with it. And so I know there's a lot of people from everywhere, all over the world, so we want to welcome you guys to our Marketing Mondays call. You know, I'm Rhonda Swan, and of course Jabril Agoro. You guys know who Jabril is. And you know, I want to bring you out, Jabril, and let's chat a little bit about, you know, the topic tonight. You've been covering Facebook ads most recently for the last couple weeks, really how to get their presence out on Facebook, how to create incredible ads in Facebook, and we want to really continue that conversation, really take it into a little deeper, I guess, you know, topic. And so I'm just going to throw it on over to you. I'll be here kind of waiting in the wings with you, but I'd like to just, you know, tell everyone to get very present tonight because we've got some really cool stuff we're going to be able to invite you to at the end of the call. So make sure you guys stick around because we've got some a really cool call that we're doing on Wednesday night that you're going to want to be able to make sure you get the link and the website to go take a look so you can register for that webinar. So Jabril, are you ready to rock and roll?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for coming out here in the beginning and nice little introduction. And I appreciate you so much. And I can't take all the credit, though. I mean, with the Unstoppable brand, I mean, I remember when we first started the Unstoppable family brand. I remember when we first started, you know, throwing the idea together, it was like, we really need to put something together that has people that they can remember, you know, you guys by. Because you had a, you know, a semi-brand before, but it didn't really have a jingle. It didn't really have a purpose. It was just kind of cookie cutter. And you really have to put a lot of thought into something if you're going to be pushing something. An Unstoppable family brand is something that's going to be around, you know, until you pass on to, you know, another life. So it's like when you're creating a brand, you really want to think about stuff like that. And I just want to go through, we're going to concentrate quite a bit on Facebook today. And I want to talk to you guys on how, because you guys can send a bunch of traffic to your site. I mean, we've been focusing a lot on traffic, on how to get, you know, the best click-through rate and a lot of the technical stuff. But it's so important for you guys to understand how important it is to make sure you connect with your audience. And the best and, you know, and most effective way is to connect with your audience, because if you send, you know, 500 people, you know, to your website, to your Facebook fan page, your YouTube page, wherever you're sending them, if you don't have the correct message to connect with them, you're going to lose them. And so that's basically what I want to focus on today. And so, you know, get your notepad, or if you're on your computer, just your virtual notepad. We're going to have some fun, and if you have questions along the way, feel free. If you see here on the webinar, you can raise your hand or type in a question, and, you know, we'll get those questions answered as we're going along. But most of you guys know who I am. Some of you actually don't, so I'm going to go through just a little bit about me for, you know, about 1 minute. I want to really get into the meat and potatoes of this call. And so, like Rhonda said, my name is Jabril, and AKA Mr. Think Outside the Box, and that's been like my brand online. And background on me, I've actually been marketing online now for over 10 years, actually coming up on 12 years. This seems crazy to think about. And before Facebook, before YouTube, I mean, I've been online marketing for quite a while. And I also like traveling around the world. I've actually been inspired greatly by the Unstoppable family, Brian and Rhonda, and, the little girl Hannah Lay. And so I've actually been traveling around the world for about 3 years nonstop right now. And I love people. I absolutely love people. I love hanging out. I mean, it's one of my favorite things to do is just hang out and, interact with people. And I love marketing. Some people don't. I mean, I live and breathe. I wake up, I'm thinking about, ways I can connect with audiences, for some of my clients that I have. I'm always thinking about marketing. When I'm watching TV programs, I'm thinking about why in this movie are they putting, so many Budweiser beer cans, and why does it connect so well with this movie? Or when, I'm watching the Academy Awards and, they're announcing what type of dress, Angelina Jolie has on. And, I start really picking up on things like this because I understand how important it is for, companies to really connect and, with certain people, the images they have and what they represent. And I find it all so fascinating. I mean, even if I'm on the train, I just see it everywhere. And the more you pay attention, the more that you'll see it. And, like I said, I'm from MrThinkOutsideTheBox.com. And basically what MrThinkOutsideTheBox.com is a collection of just, marketing information, people that are new, looking to really break into the online arena. That is what basically I go over at Mr. Think Outside the Box. But yeah, welcome. I'm the name behind atop of this, quite a few big marketers. I actually do, obviously, Brian and Rhonda Swan with the Unstoppable family, and quite a few, other top leaders within the internet marketing kind of space. I'm the man behind the brand. And today we're going to be talking about Facebook specifically and, social media in general and how to really effectively connect with, your target market. And why it's so key to, establish your brand. Because when you're out there in the marketplace, there are a million different, well, I shouldn't say a million, that might be exaggeration, but there are a lot of other people most likely directly competing for, business and clients and eyeballs, and you have to do something that, distinguishes yourself from the rest. I don't care if you're a fitness expert, and we'll go actually look at some different fitness experts, on Facebook or whatever, and what actually sets them apart from, the competition. Because at the end of the day, as friendly as it all is online, it is competition when you are selling, a similar type of product. And if you're selling computers, what is it that you represent with your brand? And so it's so important. But actually, let's actually go take a look here on Facebook. So I actually like fan pages. Me personally, I haven't built out mine, but we'll actually go take a look at, let's see it. Let's get the interactive. So if you guys have any suggestions for some fan pages we want to take a look at, and we'll break them down to how they really, connect with their audiences. So, like I said, no one on this call rides for free. So participation is necessary. So just throw a brand out there. It could be your favorite brand, food, a marketing guru, fitness guru. Just throw someone out there, and we'll get this show on the road. I see a lot of people on this webinar, a lot. So, and I might even do something cool for the first person who participates. So, okay, I see some people. We're going to do right now, let's actually look at Coke, because, when I think of a brand, Coca-Cola has branding down pretty good. Diet Coke. Oh, we're on the Diet Coke page, not the actual. I don't drink soda, or I call it pop in Chicago. But let's actually just take a look and, the kind of things that they post. So as you can see, a lot of people think maybe it's just a logo. You have to have a cool logo to have a brand. And that is not exactly the whole story to everything. It's basically what you represent. You want to have a cool, picture, logo, whatever it is that you represent, but also, what is it that it speaks to your audience? What do you guys think of when you think of, or say Nike? You think there's a certain thing that goes through your mind. You think of excellence of shoes, like maybe you guys like Adidas or whatever. But when you think of Nike, you pretty much think of elite athlete gear. And so that's, obviously, their logo, but it means so much more than just a logo. It's what they represent. And I'm actually going to take some look at some marketing people because that's, kind of my field. Let's actually take a look at Unstoppable Family. And so as we can see here, branding. And you want to have your story told very quickly. So when people come and take a look at things, you want to turn people and so they can understand what was going on with the brand. So Unstoppable Family, turning average people, into unstoppable freedom-preneurs, turning average people into freedom. We want to have a short little bio, that talks to people and tells them, what you're about. People might not, look, what's freedom-preneurs? I've heard of entrepreneurs, I've heard of so many other, preneurs, and they're like, maybe they're showing people how to break free. And so that is, as you can see here, the family, Hannah here. I think she has the most energy in this picture. Awesome. And let's actually come take a look at some of the posts. And obviously, with the word family, you're going to have a lot of family incorporated into this brand. And specifically, a lot of the people get started with the Unstoppable Family in business, not all of them, but they are family oriented because that is who, they're focusing on, the corporate people or maybe, even blue collar. It doesn't matter, but, they're really focused on family and people really looking to live just that ultimate freedom life with their family. And most times, working a job, you can't actually do that. So taking a look here, I actually haven't looked at the page in probably about a week or so. So I'm just going through things with you. And so as you can see, a lot of family-oriented posts. And you want to keep your brand very consistent to what your audience tunes into and the specific likes that they have. So, awesome. Sweet. Let's take a look at fitness. Who's P90X? I absolutely love P90X, so we're actually going to take a look at their page. Any of you guys familiar with P90X? Can I get some hands if you've actually heard of P90X? Okay. Cool. Quite a few of you. And if you could actually type in, so what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of P90X versus any other fitness program out there? And I can unmute you guys if you want to come out and come talk. I see Heather raised. I'm actually going to call on Heather since I'm going to pull you out, Heather. And how you doing, Heather?
I was just typing it. I was typing, kick your ass into shape.
Say it again?
Kick your ass into shape.
Okay. Kick you off into shape. Awesome. Nice, quick, and simple. And was there anything that really you see with P90X versus another fitness brand, with all the fitness programs out there, what would you say is the biggest difference you see with their program versus anything else?
They're just really serious about body shaping. I feel just shaping the body, like right down to each individual, part of your body. They're really about that, I think.
Okay, awesome. And I'm going to meet you back. Thank you for jumping out, Heather. And so I'm going to tell you what I think of when I think of P90X. I think of they focus on simple. When you're watching the course, they actually have a whole brand, which is called the Beachbody Company. And I'm quite familiar with how they do things. And so they have different programs that they have online, and also they sell infomercials late at night. I'm probably sure some of you guys have seen them. And they have everything from hip-hop abs to, beach body bikini things and just pure weight. And with Beachbody here, with P90X, Tony Horton, he really focuses on you can do this at home with a simple, just a few weights, a pull-up bar, and you don't need to have the crazy big gym, expensive gym membership. So he wants to have people saying, oh, when you think of P90X, you can do this in the comfort of your home. You don't have to leave, no matter what the weather is outside, and you're going to get these fantastic results. Obviously, it shows before and after images of, people using the program. And I actually want to come take a look, because I've actually never been on P90X Facebook fan page, but I knew they would have a good fan page just because of what they're doing here. So they have testimonials of someone using P90X here. And how many of you guys actually have fan pages, if I can get by a show of hands? And I want to go to something, that's not as good after. We're actually going to go search for some people that have fan pages. Probably not someone on this call, but I'm just going to go and look and give some suggestions to things that I think they could do better when setting up their fan page. So how many people we have? Probably about 20% of you guys have. Actually, about 25% of you guys have fan pages. Nice. Okay, cool. And I want to find an example of a bad fitness page right now. And so I'm going to show you the exact, so I can show you how connecting with your fans is so much better than just having a blank, non-connected kind of page. Because when you come to certain fan pages, they don't really have much going on at all to really show you why you should be there in the first place. So with here, you're like, wow, these people know what they're talking about, and they're giving me consistent information all the time on how to sculpt my body for the better. And this is one tactic that I've seen used quite a bit. So people that like the exercises, they say, if you like doing the doubles, hit the like button. And if you like, versus lean, comment, or classic, share. And it's a great way, as you can see, it did rack up 1,825 likes and a bunch of shares. And this is one thing, if you're in personal development and you post a quote, you can put something like, if you agree with this quote, hit the like button. And I will tell you right now, people like to be told what to do. And when you do that, I can guarantee you, your likes will increase by at least 50%. I guarantee it, because I've seen it time and time again. And if you try this method out, it does work, I promise you. So that's just one little tidbit that can increase your traffic and awareness to your brand and your Facebook page, basically like nothing else. Now here we go. We're gonna look for another fitness. I'm trying to think of fitness right here. And that's another thing. It's always harder to find the bad pages than it is to find the good pages, because I don't remember the bad pages. And that's another thing. When you don't remember bad things, that's not a good thing. If you remember the good things. Here we go. Let's see here. Fitness. Let me just see if I can find fitness local. Do you guys know any bad pages? If you guys are on the call, if you've seen any bad pages, I want to critique something, so I'm going to all the good pages, because that's what I actually remember. So here, let's see here. And the top pages always come up. Wow. Fitness and there you go. Okay. Wow, this is actually another good page. I mean, they have 600 likes. And one of the things that I've also learned, what works better when connecting with people is human interaction, especially if you're a newer type of person or brand. You want to connect with your audience. So like with this company here, these might be all clients that they have. I'm not sure why they have watermelons. I'm sure the story will be told. But when you don't have your brand established so much, people connect with faces. Nike can put their logo up and people know it. Okay, Coca-Cola can do just logos because they know what it represents already. They've put in the years, the billions of dollars into advertising, so they can just go buy a logo. But when you're somebody new, you want to have, faces. So what a lot of companies will do, especially like the good ones, they'll have, maybe some of their employees on, Facebook. It is called Facebook. So, people interact, a lot more. It's a personal kind of site. So that's one suggestion I have when creating, your blog, your fan page. You want to have, faces. People, people really do connect with faces. So let's actually take a look here. Lab tip. Halloween is not just about candy. Okay, cool. They're giving, some tips what to do around Halloween not to get so fat over the upcoming holiday. And okay. And, they do promotions. And normally the way that you break down your Facebook fan page, what you want to do is you want to give about 80% powerful, helpful content. Then if you have a promotion, like maybe 2 out of 10 posts, you do a promotion. And so that's the way most people that do things right do their promotions. Okay, let's take a look at this. Branding. So do you guys have any questions so far about, getting your brands out or any of your brands? So I definitely am open to just questions that you guys have about, really connecting with your audience. And I will let you know right now also, the best way to convert your people into sales is having a connection with the people. And I don't care if it's through video, if it's through pictures. And what I've found out, through testing different things, versus, different types of traffic, obviously, I mean, I spend, literally now like tens of thousands of dollars a month just on advertising. And so what I found out is if you're sending someone from a non-referral based advertising method, you're going to have some type of connection factor with, your audience that builds a relationship, because that's what it's all about. Imagine how easy it is, when your friend tells you, hey, I love this, you should go check out, these guys, they do this, versus, you just get an advertisement. You're like, I don't really know them, but referrals, that's a different story. But when you're actually just purely marketing out there, you really have to connect, create an established connection with people. Hold on 1 second, guys. And you can raise your hand too. I see Susan. Do you have a question? I see your hand is raised. If not, maybe your hand is just still up. Susan, did you have a question?
No, I'm okay, Jabril. My hand actually is down now. Thank you.
Okay, not a problem. And let's take a look at some more real quick. I really want to see a really bad site. Bad ones are harder to find. Look some more fitness. Fitness in Kentucky. Maybe they have that fitness. No, I don't know why I thought of Kentucky. Okay. Cover picture is not bad. It talks, obviously, it's some martial arts type of. Have pictures of probably some clients here. Let's take a look at their bio. So this is something that could obviously be improved on. They don't have, and you can even suggest and edit. They don't have anything that tells them, a one-word sentence of, okay, I have some questions that are coming in. Okay, awesome. Yes, great question. I see some questions coming in now. I see Anne Boland, and would a bad site be someone who just only posts but doesn't interact? Great question. Especially here in social media, it doesn't matter if it's Twitter, if it's Facebook, if it's YouTube. If you don't interact with your audience, they're not going to want to come back, to you. They want to know that you care. And before, brands could get away with not doing anything, not interacting, with their customers. They could brush everything under, the rug because it wasn't in a public kind of light. There was no Twitters. You had no voice really. And now people are so conscious of, okay, I see the questions. About 5 questions have come in. But I will get to each one of them as we're rolling through here. But I would say absolutely that is a bad fan page if you don't interact with your customers. And that's the way people imagine when you're on these sites and someone actually sends you a personal reply, like an @ reply, you're like, oh, someone replied to me. That's so cool. But when you actually, I know the feeling of when I actually type a comment on someone's page or, and they don't respond, I'm like, okay. Obviously, if especially, I can't stress enough how important it is to interact, and appreciate, your early, fans. They're going to be your core, they're going to be like your cheerleaders almost, especially if you connect with them on a regular basis. And, you almost build relationships with them through that, and they're more likely to share your content when you're interacting with, when you're interacting with them. And on a public forum, some question that they might, they answer, they're going to say, someone else might read it, like, oh, that's the question, that I had. Oh, this brand is, they're pretty cool. They actually care about their customers. They're not one of these other people who just post, but they don't actually read or care about what people are saying. So absolutely great question, and you definitely should interact with your fans. Now, next question. Actually, we have Rhonda. Thank you. You actually suggested one second. Rhonda says she's seen a bad fitness page. So let's actually here take a look really quickly. Okay. Welcome to Judgment Free Zone. Planet Fitness. Yeah, the About Me just kind of has the address, and it definitely could use some work. But let me actually take a look at what I initially think when I come and take a look at this fitness place is a place that's not really about fitness buffs, but maybe people that are really obese maybe, and you can come here and you're not going to get judged when you go to the gym. That is my initial thought when I see this, and it's so important. First impressions are everything when it comes to brands. But let's take a further look and see what they're about. Actually, let me hear what you guys, because obviously our brains don't all think the same. What was it that you thought of when I pulled this page up here to, Planet Fitness here in Austin, Texas? And if you want to raise your hands, I'll pull some of you out. So yeah. Okay, Heather again. Awesome. So Heather, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, so you were talking about the about info on the pages, and I come across so many pages that they don't have any contact information at all, and it's so frustrating, especially if it's something that a group I want to join locally or something like that. And then again, there is other ones too that is like they have 20 websites listed or something like that. That's extreme, but so like where's the fine line? Like what are the basics that everybody should absolutely have?
Basics of, well, yeah, when you have 20 different websites listed, it's too much for people. I would, at most, I'd target it down to 3, and more likely just like 1 for my own personal preference. But if you have a personal branding website, like, that's talking just about you, I would have, maybe you have like, 2 or 3 different websites, fine. But if you have like a brand and just a business, like I would have just kind of 1 website, keep it simple for people. when you have 20 different websites listed, there's just too much going on. And you said with contact information, if people don't know, especially with a business like this that you're going to, here, they actually do have, their address, their telephone number. And so I think that is, they did a good job on that. But for the About Me page here, the About Me section, it's an important, because that could mean the difference of someone coming here and saying, I don't really know, and they click away. And then, but if you have something, that grabs people in that says, what separates, this gym from the rest in the About Me thing, or your brand, it really does a lot. Like those one sentences, people do put so much time into, that one sentence because it says so much, and it keeps people around, or they leave quickly, a lot of times. Or if you have a picture that draws them in, you really do have to think about these things, like what are people thinking? And I'd also do, one of the things I do at times to make sure it's just not me, I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the world. I actually send it to a few people that have no perception of me or whatever, and I like to get critiqued. Obviously, I have my own mind, and I'm going to make my own executive decisions. But if I have a common, trait that most of these people said, oh, I don't think your message is clear. What is it exactly that you're trying to explain? If a few people say that, that might be, feedback to say, okay, maybe I need to work on what it is my brand is representing. And I wouldn't even do like family. I would maybe have some just acquaintances or whatever you don't talk to as much. Like, hey, can you check this out? Tell me, what you feel, because those are the people that are going to give you, pretty much, a lot of the best feedback that you can have when they have no, emotional tie. Obviously, your mom thinks like, oh my God, it's awesome, Heather. It's amazing. And so that would be, some more feedback too when creating, getting, second opinions. But ultimately, I mean, if it feels good in your heart, go with it, because obviously you're the leader of, your group.
Thanks.
No problem. And then I saw we've got quite a few questions coming up. Actually, again, but I'm actually going to run some of these questions. Okay. And thank you, Rhonda, for sending that link. So we're going to go get through some more questions. I'm actually going to only take 2 more questions right here. I'm going to go through some more stuff and then come through, because quite a few of you have been sending in questions. Jabril, how does one, oh yeah, and then my name is spelled like this, Jubril, not A. I just love my name, so. But yeah, so how does one capture an email for your Facebook ad? Are you talking about, so Peggy, if you could type, are you talking about capturing an email when you send people outside, or actually here on your Facebook fan page? Peggy says sorry. No, I was just joking with you with my name. It's not that serious. Oh, well, it is, but not. Peggy. Okay. Actually, going to take another question. Okay. They have apps. So you were asking how to capture. I'm sure most of you guys want to know that too. If you want to capture ad, leads through here. Off the top of my head, I forgot the exact software, but what I'm going to do is Notepad. All of you guys are going to get an email on how, I do know, because if I don't write stuff down, I forget how to capture leads from that page. Not everyone. Okay. Yeah. And for you people that don't know what people are talking about, let me see someone who has one. Lead capture page. Actually, no, Michelle has one. Okay. So is this basically something you were talking about? Like right here? Peggy? Let me actually pull Peggy out. Here. Let me unmute you. Okay, Peggy, you are unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, Peggy, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. So interesting. I love to learn from you, Jabril.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So was this
yeah,
what you were talking about right here?
Yeah, I don't know what the program is, Jabril. I just heard. I'm so new to all of this, so I'm learning everything I can. I'm on like fast start, you know. I want to learn everything. I don't know. Is there a program for it, or how do we do this?
Absolutely. What that'll probably be for another call. But what we'll do though, like I said, after the webinar, you know, we'll be sending out a follow-up email after this webinar is over, and we'll shoot out how you can get that done. Because I know that's a question that I'm pretty sure quite a few of you have. So I'll make sure I do that for you guys. Sound good?
Yes, that's wonderful.
No problem.
I'm glad I asked.
I'm glad you asked too, because if you don't ask, I don't know what people want. So thank you for your participation, and we're actually going to go through a bit more. I'm going to go back to PowerPoint really quickly. And I enjoy, and what's so awesome about the GoToWebinar platform is I can see you guys are so engaged. Like, because I've been on webinars before where the participation and the eyeballs are like, you know, 20% of people are paying attention. I can see here, like, all of you are like watching 99% of the time. So it makes me feel good. So, and I do appreciate you guys, you know, coming out. Current slide. So, you know, we said, you know, memorable. Obviously, you know, there's some commercials out there. And I always think, you know, I do take, obviously, some of these bigger brands have bigger budgets and they can create, you know, $1 million commercials. But I've seen some absolutely memorable, you know, campaigns and programs that, you know, were created with just, it's actually zero budget. You know, they had some software on their computer, they had a video camera, and they created something. Or, you know, they were good at, you know, art, and they did it themselves. It doesn't take a big budget. It just takes an imagination and some action to create something, you know, that's memorable. So I can't, like, some of the biggest tips that I can really recommend is when you're really focusing and writing out your brand is make it memorable. And Wednesday coming up, you know, what's today? Today's Monday. Thank God it's Monday. I get so excited for Mondays. But on Wednesday at 8 p.m. coming up this week, you know, my partner, you know, basically, like my big sister, Rhonda Swan, is going to be doing, she is like the branding expert. And so, and she's going to have, you know, 6 steps, you know, step by step, 6 steps, a free webinar on how to really establish and create your brand. So, and at the end of the call, I'll be giving you some more information on how you can all, you know, get there. And so, memorable, remember that, memorable. And understanding your audience. I talk about it every week, but some people just don't get it because I see some things people do, and it has nothing to do with their audience. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, you're totally making a disconnect from your people. And sometimes all it takes is one time to lose your audience at one time, and you lose them forever. One of the things I've seen, too, when I was on YouTube was someone had a YouTube channel, right? And so they had it was a business channel. So they were uploading, they had business videos, and then the next video, you know, that they posted, they were posting videos, you know, about a family vacation. And then it was like the next video was about fishing or something, and it was just all different messages. And so it's like a TV channel. If you're watching ESPN, you're not going to get, you know, Sally Patty, you know, baking cookies on ESPN. You have a consistent, you know, type of thing. So if you want to have something that you want to talk about that's completely different, absolutely go ahead. But understand your audience doesn't really care about it. Some of them might, but the majority of them won't. And they're like, why are they talking? Like, I didn't come here for this. And so understand that. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see newbies make when they create like a Facebook fan page. They don't keep their message consistent. You have to keep your message consistent because that is what people, expect. Yes, it is a free world and all of that, but keep your message so consistent and understanding, your audience. And so where you guys can go for this webinar is unstoppablebranding.com. And when you guys go here, you're going to see, a cool little video that comes up. It's actually quite humorous. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it. And this talks about branding in probably the simplest form when you think about making money and creating a brand. And you'll see to the right side of the page, when you go here, you can register for this webinar here on Wednesday. I'll be there, hanging out. But, Rhonda, the powerhouse, the superstar, is going to come and, knock this call out of the park. We actually did a branding workshop live in person. It was about 3 weeks ago, and people just left that place like, wow, I'm understanding why I'm not making the sales and connecting with my audience. It was like standing ovation. It was absolutely amazing. And it is the biggest thing people, like I said at the start of the call, you can send 1 million people to your site, but if you don't connect with them in the right way, and there are specific steps that you need to take in establishing your brand so you do it correct, because if you take 1 or 2 wrong steps, you mess up the whole formula. And it's so important to get the correct formula, from someone who knows, what they're talking about. And the actually branding queen is standing right next to me, walked back in the house, and so you want to come say?
Yeah, I do, and I've been able to listen while I've been out. And guys, wow, I know that all of you get right now. Let's give like a standing ovation for Jabril because this call was awesome. At least give some hands up if you guys truly appreciated and learned just from this call alone. And Jabril, we are ultimately grateful always for you and the things that you do for our community at large, but also every person we come into contact with around this internet marketing, world wide web of people that are learning online. You come every Monday with pure dedication to, what your knowledge is, and you give it effortlessly, and you really give it as a, free giving to everyone. So it's amazing when we have someone like you. So guys, it is really exciting. I'm glad Jabril brought this up. You did a lot of, I like to call it, the heavy lifting for me, because you really set the pace tonight for everyone. And guys, we have been putting a lot of time and a lot of effort into really masterminding a way to help you guys do the absolute best in your business. And the very first start, doesn't matter what kind of business you have, if you do not have an identifiable brand, like Jabril said, something memorable, we will lose people along the way. So what we're going to do on Wednesday, get over there, please. Unstoppable Branding. Make sure you register. We have a limitation for 1,000 people. And so I'm going to go through really the background, those 6 steps.
It actually, Wednesday we're making it a lot more interesting. Actually, only 100 people.
Oh, 100. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Say
yeah.
1,000. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean 1,000.
We don't have space left.
I didn't mean 1,000. I meant 100.
Will be a pack call, and people will be locked out of the call.
That's right.
So yeah, we're not doing.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. See, I have a new way of thinking. Is put a 0 on it. Whatever you want, put a 0 on it. Okay. And so those of you that know who Jason Spurlock is, he uses that quite a bit as well. But at any rate, guys, it's going to be really cool. Get over there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you're registered because it's only 100 people. And we're going to give away some cool stuff. We've got a really neat workshop we're going to be able to share with you guys as well. And there is going to be a special bonus for the first 10 people that actually do register on Wednesday night for if they choose to go part of the workshop. So make sure you're there. And it's a lot of fun. So Jabril, thank you for doing so much of the heavy lifting. Yay, everyone's giving Jabril high fives that they really appreciated you guys. So great to have you, Jabril. You can put a bow on it, but as always, it is awesome to always work with you guys and to assist you even more at not only connecting with your audience, but also turning that connection into profit. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And then there was one quick question. Like I was going to email out everyone. I think it was Peggy who asked, getting the email opt-in on the Facebook Center. Do you remember what the app was off the top of your head? Or I thought I was going to email them. I was going to go, I know it, but I just don't know the exact software.
Email opt-in.
on the Facebook, so people can opt in on the fan page. But I said I'm going to email everyone after the call, and so we'll do that. So yeah, you guys can look out for that email, and don't hesitate to hit me up. As you can see, I'm online quite a bit. It might take a while sometimes to answer messages. I do get messages all day, but I am online, quite a bit of the time. So if you want to reach out on Facebook, come connect with me. I'm available. And like I said, if you have a pretty face, I do answer a lot quicker.
That is true. He's definitely guilty for that. And too, guys, remember also that share this Unstoppable Branding with, if you have teams or other people that that you feel that would benefit from this information. Of course, it always means if you have downline people, if they have a better presence and a better brand, if you're receiving roll-ups to yourself, that is always beneficial for your people to also have a great connection. And yeah, share it as you will, but just remember only the top 100 are going to be able to show. So we're keeping it tight right now. We're not even marketing this. This is really
specifically for you. No, this is really exclusive
yeah,
for Marketing Mondays people. No ads out there. But that's it, guys. I'm going to put a bow on this because I do have a full-packed evening here. But it's been a pleasure, and like I said, I appreciate you guys because I can see how interactive you guys are, paying attention. The whole webinar, it lets me know I'm doing something right, and so that feels good. You guys have a great evening, and I'll see you guys not next week. I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care, guys.